What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to take a look at AKA Charlie Sheen, which is a new documentary that is available on Netflix, which does have audio description, produced by VSI and narrated by Roy Samuelson. It's written by somebody, but I didn't remember the name long enough, so I apologize on that one. But yeah, this is AKA Charlie Sheen. It's a two-part documentary. So if you were in love with Pee-wee as himself and Billy Joel and So It Goes, well, Netflix is doing that now too. They're picking celebrities and having them talk for 2 long episodes and doing a 2-part documentary on them. This is basically a 3-hour documentary on Netflix about Charlie Sheen that they just didn't want to air as a 3-hour documentary, and they just split it into 2. They were like, nobody's gonna watch a 3-hour documentary on Charlie Sheen. We'll break it into 2 episodes. So, because each episode is slightly under an hour and a half, so if you just smash them together, there isn't like a decidedly huge difference between part 1 and part 2. They're just like there's a stopping point and a starting point. So, Charlie Sheen, the man, myth, the guy, hashtag winning. So, what this is seemingly comprehensive, from Charlie Sheen's perspective, discussion about his life and all of the failings and all of his problems and the highs and the lows and the behind the scenes and everything. It's a giant interview with Charlie Sheen with a little bit of color from people who knew him, people who interacted with him, those that are willing to participate, some notably not willing to participate. But Charlie says they're on his side. Martin Sheen is name-checked here so many times, it's weird that he's not participating. He's shown in footage, but Martin and Emilio both declined to participate in this documentary, which Charlie says is fine. He's okay with that. He says they support him anyway. They just didn't want to be part of this documentary. So instead, we're going to get Jon Cryer, who admits openly that he was very hesitant to participate in the documentary, and he says why, which I think is great, because at least if you're going to make a documentary, like, let people speak openly about it. And it feels like everyone here came into the documentary being able to say whatever they wanted to about Charlie in sort of an unfettered, unfiltered manner. So however they wanted to talk about the past, whatever Jon Cryer wants to say, he gets to say. He doesn't have to worry about, trying to make it, trying to lessen. They're not trying to hide anything from the audience. This is all about, like, all of Charlie's deep, dark secrets. So this is why a whole bunch of Charlie Sheen content has been popping up onto Netflix, including Grizzly 2, which I didn't realize. I was like, why is Grizzly 2 in the new one? Okay. And I guess Charlie Sheen was in that, so now I'm like, do I need to watch Grizzly 2 for Halloween? Maybe. So yeah, it kind of goes through what it was like to grow up as the son of Martin Sheen and watching him. And these kids made like Super 8 movies. They grew up with, like, Sean Penn and Chris Penn were friends with them growing up. He was also, unbeknownst to, I'm sure, everybody until this documentary, Charlie Sheen was really good friends with Tony Todd. Rest in peace. But yeah, it was kind of surprising. I was not expecting Tony Todd to be like Charlie Sheen's rock. He's like, yeah, Tony's been there through every decade of my life. Okay. His ex-wives speak, mostly Denise. I mean, well, that was a no-brainer. If Denise had turned this down, I'd be like, well, why? mean, she has her own reality show. She's clearly comfortable speaking to cameras. So she's willing to come back. A couple of other people, but mostly that's about it. And yeah, you're just gonna go through the ups and downs and Charlie's reasons for and what was going on in his head when he started and battled addiction and made these choices, and the things that he credits for giving him temporary sobriety along the way. He says he's been sober, I think, for like 7 years now. I think the last time that he was in the news, he let everybody know he was diagnosed with HIV, and he's just been living life since then, and just trying to put his life together. You know, the Hollywood bad boy life is slowly catching up to him. But for those, they don't really bring it up on the show. Not that they need to, because it's Netflix versus HBO Max, and Max has different shows. But I mean, he has been on a show on HBO Max, Bookie, for the last 2 seasons. He's been appearing as himself. So there's been a little bit of career rehab going on there, and this documentary does a little bit more of that. It's him owning up to all of the shit. There's only one thing that he's ever been accused of where he's like, no, that's absolute bullshit. And I don't know, when you go through an entire documentary saying yes to all of these other things and no to that thing, and I think, or at least saying, well, that's mostly true, and that's basically how I remember it, and all those kind of things, and then you come to this one thing and you're like, nope, that never happened. If you're interested in watching, I think this is going to do well for Netflix. I think people are going to check out the life of Charlie Sheen, and from his perspective, and it'll do exactly for them what they thought it would. But to be fair, exactly what HBO and Warner Brothers Discovery thought, Pee Wee as himself and Billy Joel and So It Goes would do for them. That they would attract the fans and bring those fans in who would want to see a documentary about them. So this is on par. I think there's a lot of, I think what works here is that Charlie is willing to denigrate himself so much that it has to be like true. He's not trying to make it seem like he's not trying to lessen the effect and say, well, that's not what it. No, actually, it was never really that bad, and I was never really that. He's like, nope. I don't know. I shouldn't bet all the time. I don't know. So. Yeah. If you want to watch it, if you like Charlie Sheen and his roster of films, including Best Picture winner Platoon, then this is going to be right up your alley. Personally, I like Wall Street. I think that's probably his best role. But even then, he's sharing it with like Michael Douglas, who's obviously the takeaway from Wall Street. But most of the time he's just been using comedies. He doesn't have a whole lot of opportunity to do dramatic range. So I remember most of the other stuff that he was talking about, including his run on Spin City and those kind of things. I forgot that he won a Golden Globe for Spin City, though. So it was a nice trip down memory lane and wasted 3 hours of my life. And AKA Charlie Sheen, I'm going to give it a 7.8 out of 10. I think it's good. It's obviously here to help draw ratings for Netflix. I don't think there was a specific reason. We were all sitting around waiting to hear from Charlie Sheen, but we did, and that happened, and now we know. And we can all sleep tonight because we've heard Tiger Blood and all of that stuff one more time. So check it out. The audio description is fine. It's a documentary audio description, even though I love Roy and I've seen a couple things by VSI. I wasn't expecting like, oh my God, this is the most amazing, mind-blowing audio description of my life. It's a lot of talking. So they do interject quite a bit and try to fill in as much as they can with images and who's talking. So it is actually really good functional audio description for a documentary. But it is just a lot of Charlie talking. So tracking what he's doing, whether he's smoking or not like that, is sort of as much time as they have to try to fill it in. You know, there's not much, it's not Dune. You know, you're not on another planet with like sci-fi aliens and stuff. There isn't just a wild, crazy amount of things to do. It's just Charlie Sheen sitting on camera most of the time. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.